Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. And when it comes to shorting stocks, I really want you to stop wasting your time and just make you aware of something else that you could do instead that I think makes a whole lot more sense, especially well from the time perspective and also from the money perspective, as I'll show you. So, really shorting stocks at this point wastes your time and it wastes your money. And this is coming from somebody that has shorted a whole lot of stocks over the course of my trading career. So I can say with a whole lot of confidence that what I am now doing, it is so much more time efficient. Now, this whole idea came from a comment, or more so a question I got in a YouTube video where this person was asking me about this new thing that I'm doing. And I'll get to this in a little bit. Maybe some of you already know where I'm headed with all this. But they asked, hey, do you need to locate or, find shares to short? And the key dynamic here is locate. Now, this is going to be a situation where maybe you know exactly what I mean when I'm talking about locate shares because you're doing this right now, especially on those smaller price stocks. You're looking for those pump and dump type things, those stocks that, oh, it'll come back down. They're very volatile. And hey, I love volatility. That's fantastic. So there's nothing wrong with seeking out volatility and seeking to make money from that volatility going down, which is where shorting comes into play. Well, that was the question is, hey, do you are on this thing that you're doing, do you need to locate shares in order to short? And the answer is absolutely not. But what is actually locating shares? And this is where we get into the money thing. So I realize some of you may already understand this, but as a quick way to kind of illustrate and build context, right here we have a screenshot of a broker where if you want to locate shares, so right there, that is your window. And then I don't know if it's going to be big enough. So I just wanted to point that out. But right there, if you are able to locate a share of the stock to short, it costs you 0.0688 per share to get short. So what does that mean just from a money standpoint? Like I said, let's try to be efficient with our money too. But if you want to just borrow, let's just say 500 shares to short, well, 500 times 0.0688, right there, you're looking at $34 just to locate them, not even to trade them. So if your broker has commissions to buy and sell, which a lot of these sorts of brokers do, especially if you're trading and trying to short this price range of stocks, again, the small caps, the mid caps, however, the penny stocks, they go by a bunch of different terms. But, those stocks down below $10, sometimes a little bit over, yes, they can make big moves. Yes, you can, score some nice profits, but you can score those just as big of profits, if not more, with this other thing. But the point here is that, yeah, you're going to be spending quite a bit of money to locate. And because they're lower priced, well, you're going to need higher quantities to make it worth your time. Because if something barely budges because it's a lower price thing, well, then in order to take advantage of that quote unquote barely budging, you're going to need a bigger position size. So even if you're like, well, I need to borrow at least 1,500 shares to make it work. Well, right here, 1,500 times, again, 0.0688. Now you're looking at $100 just to locate, just to borrow the shares. Again, that adds up very, very quickly. But with this other thing that you can do, you don't have to locate anything because you can just short it. You can always short it. It's just there to short. So what is this thing that I'm talking about? Well, I am talking futures trading. And futures trading presents a whole lot of good quality opportunities. What kind of opportunities? Well, let me walk you through a recent example here. And now I want to be clear, do these examples happen like every other minute of the day? They don't. Do this type of, movement happen every single day? They don't. But do movements that are still maybe a quarter, half of this happen? Very routinely every single day. So futures trading is awesome. Again, I'm taking just from a shorting standpoint. And as a side note, the other nice thing about futures is there's no pattern day trading rule. So if you're like, wait, what? I know what the pattern day trading rule is, and it's super annoying. Yeah, you heard me right. There's no pattern day trading rule within futures. But let's look at this. So this is a 30-minute time frame, and let's go through a little bit of futures education because I'm going to show you how easy futures are to also understand from, the numbers perspective and how they move and how profits can add up. So right here, we had this move that started at 21,955. It then went all the way down there within just a couple of hours to 21,628. So the difference in those numbers is 327, or is what is known as points, because futures don't move in dollar and cents, they move in points. So, okay, and again, we're in our first futures lesson. On this one particular, this was the futures regarding the Nasdaq market. 1 point equals $20, so per contract. So for every point that this moves, it would mean $20. And this one just moved 327 points. So think about that, 327 points. So let's do a quick math on that one. So we have, again, 1 point is $20, and we just said it moved 327 points. That means right here, that movement was worth $6,500. Now, I'm not saying anybody played it perfectly, but my point here is that that's a pretty big profit window. And again, that was only on one contract. If you wanted to, you could go and do 3 contracts. Now, I'm not saying that would necessarily be smart or wise, but again, the people I'm assuming I'm talking to right now, they're the people that they're looking to try to locate those shares because they're on those smaller price stocks that are very volatile, that can make crazy moves, and they're wanting to make that money. My point here is that you can get that in a much more controlled way in the futures market. I mean, they move smooth, they respect the technicals and all that. But let's just say that you had 3 contracts. Well, what do we have to do? Because this number here is just coming from based off of 1 contract. But if you had 3, we got to multiply that by 3. That movement right there, almost $20,000 worth of wiggle room to pull out profits. And that's still only 3 contracts. You get the idea. If you were at 5, if you were at more, then yes, that profit window opens up that much more. And in terms of liquidity, not a concern. You could have done 10 contracts and it no big deal. The futures market is a very big market from a liquidity standpoint. And then on top of all this, another reason why, and I mentioned this briefly already, but you don't have to okay, am I going to be able to short the NQ today? Am I going to be able to short whatever futures market? No, that's just part of it. You can just short. You don't have to locate anything. You don't have to pay extra for anything. You can just do it. So think about from a time-saving standpoint of having to try to locate the shares. Okay, if I can find, okay, no, this broker doesn't have them, but maybe this broker does. You can bypass all that. You just simply do it. And not only can you do it, you can do it in such a cost-effective way if you're willing to at least give prop firms a try. It's what I do. This is who I use, so I'm not talking in theory. I'm not just recommending something because I'll get an affiliate. Now I will get an affiliate payment. I'm not refuting that, but that's not the reason why. I'm literally, this is who I use, and I think there's a great argument here because for everything we just talked about. So the way prop firm works in a nutshell, and again, I'll put a link down below. Make sure you check that out so you can take advantage of these discounts too. But you give the prop firm a very minimal amount of money, prove yourself as a trader, and then you have a whole lot of upside potential. But even if you don't want to do this, I would say still, fine, go do futures. But with futures, like anything, these are very volatile. They can move make big movements. So I think that you should have your risk as minimized as possible. And that is what a prop firm allows you to do because for $50,000 worth of buying power, again, assuming you use the link and get the 50% off, that would be $85. So you're paying $85 for $50,000 worth of buying power. And I should note, this is the current deal. So maybe if you're watching this video 6 months after I do it, I don't know what the current deal will be, but just make sure you use the link because that'll ensure that you get whatever the current deal is. But $85 for $50,000. Now, there is the rule that during this phase here, you're not allowed to lose more than $2,000. But let's just say you lose your mind. And because you're used to trading volatile things, you get it. Sometimes things just get crazy volatile and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And in the world of stocks, that whoa, 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 yeah, that just cost you the whoa, whoa, whoa amount. But in this situation, if the whoa, whoa, whoa equals $20 or $2,000, my question is, how much did you actually lose? Did you lose $2,000? No, the correct answer would be you lost the cost of the account. The cost of the $50,000 account was $85. So instead of the whoa, whoa, whoa costing you $2,000, it only costs you $85, which I think is from a risk management standpoint, I think that's something to at least consider and at least weigh within your options of, okay, maybe I do want to try doing, maybe you're already convinced, oh, wow, yeah, futures makes this stuff super convenient. Maybe you're already convinced there. If you're wondering, but I don't know if I want to do a prop firm, fair enough, but that is something else to really question is, do you do dumb things? Just sometimes you're like, whoa, that spun out of control quicker than what I thought. And would you have one of those moments cost you just the cost of the account? or cost you, your actual full-blown real money, where maybe it's $2,000 of your own cash as opposed to just the $85 or whatever you choose of your own cash. So, very, seriously consider doing futures. Makes shorting so much easier, and then potentially doing it through a prop firm. And really, at the end of the day, I'm not asking you to trust me at all. All I'm saying is give futures a try and see if these sorts of movements. Now, am I saying you should expect, as I mentioned earlier, 300-point movements every single day? I'm not saying that. But a 100-point movement, a 50-point movement, a 150-point movement, that's not a big deal in the world of futures. And give it a try and see if it meets your volatility taste. See if it's actually, dare I say, even better than those small price stocks that you think are also volatile and also great. I'm telling you, just give futures a try. Don't take my word for it. It costs you nothing to at least give them a try. And I think you're going to be very, very pleasantly pleased, especially then when you start to factor in all the lack of headaches created. Because if you want to short, you can just short. And that in of itself, I think, carries a whole lot of value. And then a couple things before I go. Number one, if you are like, yeah, no, I want to do futures, but I don't really know anything about them, fantastic. I will put a link down below to this free 4-part series that I offer that'll give you a good foundation to what the futures market is, how it works, how those things such as points and all that work, and then you'll be able to, you'll be ready to go. And then also, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering that'll walk you through how I build consistency, how I manage risk. And if you're someone that's maybe newer or maybe struggling, and you're looking for, all right, what am I missing? Do I maybe have something out of place within the framework? I'm very confident this class can get you pointed in the right direction because I've been working with traders since 2013. I've come across a lot, and a lot of people have the best of intentions. They're doing things that do seemingly make sense, but they don't actually make sense. And those are the things that I want to address and will address in this free class. So go to that link, claytrader.com/live, or just check out the link down in the description box, and that will tell you when the next live class is. So check that out. Very, very seriously consider moving into futures because as somebody that likes to short myself, it is so nice to just be able to hit the short button and be able to get short without having to do any other hassle at all. So if you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button. If you're looking to support the channel in a super free and easy way, if you could hit that subscribe button, that really does help out. So thanks for watching. Take care.